I'm sorry, I'm jumping right in on this particular answer. The first thing to understand is that not all of the kind of comments that are coming, the kind of trends that are trending are necessarily genuine users. There is now enough evidence to show that there are paid trends. There is enough evidence to show that there are bots. Social media does not represent the reality of India. This is a fact.
I actually love talking to trolls sometimes because my sarcastic best comes out in it, which is completely lost on them because they don't understand it at all. It's always wrong grammar or bad English or Hindi or something like that. So I can't take them seriously.
ये बोलने आई है तू? तेरे माँ बाप नहीं है क्या? तेरे घर में कोई रोकता नहीं क्या? How like you wretch, you ungrateful wretch.
Even in the movie, remember the bed scene? We're like chick 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 chick. Yeah, we're just like that.
Are you seeing the headmistress of the group?
Yeah,
are we getting that vibe?
Yeah.
Are you seeing the lookas of the group?
Hi everyone, my name is Dishya and I'm from News 18 Showsha. आज हमारे साथ हैं 3 of the 4 Yaars from Jahaan Chaar Yaar. Hi guys, welcome to Showsha.
Hi, thank you very much.
So first of all, I want to ask you all is that, you know, the movie ka trailer looks a mix of fun and a mix of serious. But what would you box it more? Is it more of a fun movie or you're trying to send a message out?
I think it's more of an entertaining movie. I think let's put it in that box. It's an entertaining movie with everything in it. There is comedy, there's drama, there's a little bit of a thriller aspect to it. There's a little bit of a whodunit in it, right? And so
Friendship?
There's friendship. And so it's in the entertaining movie category, right? Right?
Bingo.
So, you know, in Bollywood, we've always seen movies where there are either like, you know, men going on road trips, be it married, be it unmarried. We finally had Veere the Wedding, where thank you so much, where we actually had, you know, female friendships being explored. But this is such a refreshing movie where married women are going. It's like finally घर पे जो बोलते हैं ना शादी के बाद जाना जो करना है वो हो रहा है finally.
Exactly.
So what brought about is that was one of the reasons that you all signed the movie? What were the other reasons that you all signed the movie for? Could you tell us a little more on that?
I think for me it was the script, for sure. It was there was no way I would have probably even given a limb to be a part of such a film. The script is fantastic. The characters are amazing, extremely relatable. Could be your mother, could be your sister. Rural setup, urban setup, very relatable, very touching, very heartwarming. The fun, the camaraderie, and rightly, like you said, you know, there's a very subtle, beautiful message that is being conveyed as well. So there was no way that I'd let this script go by.
Unfortunately, I don't know what else to add because that's exactly what I felt. I think for me personally, the character was something that was very interesting for me because I've usually played characters in an urban setting. So to play a character which wasn't set in a big city and it is, you know, these married women from a small town. I don't think I've played a character like that before. So for me, that was really exciting. And for the same very reason, it was also very exciting that it is a story that we don't get to see. We see urban relationships a whole lot. We do get to see these relationships and these friendships as well. But for the first time, I think we're seeing something which is about them really owning themselves and their strength and everything that comes with it. So for me, that was really exciting. And also the fact that I get to work with old Yaars and new Yaars. So that was also really lovely. And I think the script, which you will also, I'm guessing all of us have similar answers, but
yeah.
The script is so sensitive and nuanced that to have a story which has, as I said earlier, so many different emotions, and you say it in it's told in such an interesting way that I really, for me, it was, I don't know which limb I would give, but which limb would you give?
Left.
But I was very excited to work on this film.
What would you, Swara? Because I remember when at the press conference you said that this was a character that you've not done before and it was something very mellow and something that, you know, you wanted to take it up as a challenge. So was that also one of the bigger reasons?
Absolutely. I think that there were two reasons for me. One was, as both of them have said, that what I like the most about the script and why I think it's a real clutter breaker, as you said, we've seen friendship and road trip films, but I think the coup that this film kind of does is that it has cast in as protagonists four, within quotes, behenjis. And it has taken the story and the lens and it has front and centered people that typical common sense would not consider cool enough to deserve a mainstream Bollywood film of their own and to star in a mainstream Bollywood film of their own. So I really liked that. I thought that was like chutzpah of a certain kind. And the other thing, of course, is that for me personally, it's a heartwarming script, lovely script, really fun, as they both said. And for me, I've never played a character like this before. Also, I think that in terms of the kind of public image that there is, with me, because there's always all this like social media related, Twitter warrior and all that.
You?
So it's a chance to kind of shake that up a little bit as well, because I'm getting a little sick of this kind of bold, outspoken, like, dabang, kind of like, it's just nice to, it was a challenge for me. I was like, can I even pull off, a character who is like really she's the most dabbu in the group, the most, she's the biggest, like there's a line where they say she's a dadi amma.
It was very refreshing to see in the trailer when like all three of you are sitting her down and listen.
Yeah.
You might be thinking your life is this way, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is why I want to come in as a real life Yaar also, saying that I get what you're saying and I do agree with you about your character. But I think what's really refreshing to see is the quiet rebellion.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what's fun about this film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And she said that it's not a jhanda parcha morcha kind of a thing. There's no messaging that's in your face in this like whatever way. It's really just fun. It's emotional, it's fun, and it's so, as Pooja said, you're going to relate to this film because either you know someone like this in your life or you are that person, right? We all have women who've spent their lives enabling us. Either they're our mothers or our grandmothers or our masis or our sisters or whatever, and who've never spared a thought for their own life. And I think that the beautiful thing is that Kamal sir, as Shikha said, in such nuance, tells the story of these women. It's high time.
That's what I was noticing, that, before we went into shoot, all three of y'all had this very nice, close bond. I was like, obviously while shooting, this happens. But what was the kind of bond y'all shared with the director?
I love him. He's really, it's very weird, but he reminds me of my nani. And I always tell him that, Kamal sir, you are like, I think he firstly belongs to the same kind of similar part of UP that my nani came from. And he has the same accent as her. And he reminded me so much of her. And he's written a character like Shivangi. To me, I basically channeled my grandmother. I mean, she's no more, but like I channeled her and her early, whatever stories she told me about her life. And I have not seen such empathy. And I have not seen such sensitivity in a male writer-director before as I have seen in Kamal sir. And he's so quiet and unassuming.
He's so quiet.
He's so unassuming. He's so quiet. We had to tell him after the shot, I had to tell him, sir, is it okay? And like totally blank expression. I'm like, sir, if it's fine, can you look a little happier? So
and he just nod his head.
Yeah, but he's a wonderful man and he has such an instinct for this world, for these people. There's so much empathy in the stories he's telling that I really enjoyed myself.
He's also the funniest person I've ever met. In his quiet ways, he will belt out these fantastic, like sixers, which you're just like, where did that come from? Wow, that was amazing.
It comes from the fact that he's a very good writer. Shadi Mein Zarur Aana happens to be one of my favorite films. Very, very well written. And yeah, like she rightly said, these one-liners, his stories, maybe because of how much he's traveled or the part of the world that he comes from. I'm completely oblivious to it. So when we would sit and he would tell me about my character, about the intricacies of the character, he had to build a whole world around for me because I didn't know. I've never lived there. I don't have anyone from there. I didn't have anybody to go back to. So he literally built this whole world of Sakina around for me, and he did it so beautifully because that helped me. That helped me become her. So I'll forever be grateful to him for writing Sakina and helping me, be her.
So the movie also comes at a time where the whole boycott culture is very obvious right now. So many movies are impacted by this boycott culture. Do you feel a sense of pressure?
No. I really am excited about the film, and I hope that everybody just goes and watches it and enjoys it, because we've made it with a lot of heart, and it's showing in the trailer. So I rather focus on things that make me happy than things that worry me.
Do you think that, my question is to Pooja, do you think that, once the movie releases, maybe through word of mouth, it could get more people in?
100%. We believe that. Because I think the USP of the film is once you watch it, you will be able to relate to everything some way or the other on some level, and it will touch you. You will take it back home with you, and you will tell people. And word of mouth, I think, is a definite yes.
Yeah.
My next question is Swara. Swara, your real life yaar. Sonam recently welcomed a baby boy. Did both of you get a chance to meet her or, meet the baby boy?
I haven't seen her yet because I had COVID. And I kind of was like, all right, let me recover. So I was telling her that I'm the safest person now. I'm full of antibodies. But yeah, it's lovely, and it's. I think that I think Sonam and Anand are both going to make great parents. Sonam's going to make a really fun mom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's also a really funny person, and she has a way of saying it like it is, telling stories. Like Sonam Unfiltered is the most entertaining thing you'll ever find. So I'm sure that she's going to have lots of stories to tell us, and
And both Anand and
exciting
Sonam are just so, they're two big hearts, I feel.
Yeah, they're just two big hearts.
So, yeah.
So can we see both of you all reuniting with Sonam and Kareena anytime soon for Veere Di Wedding 2? Too early to ask?
You'll ask so much. You'll ask so much that we did Jahaan Chaar Yaar. After Veere Di Wedding is here.
So I also wanted to ask that, in the past 2 years, there's so much that has happened. Like the pandemic, there's, the industry has also taken a small backseat, but we've also noticed that social media is suddenly filled with a lot more trolls than it was before. Be it, either they're commenting on the movies, the acting, the body image. How do you all tackle the sea of people right now?
Look, the first thing to understand about social media, I'm sorry, I'm jumping right in on this particular answer. But the first thing to understand is that not all of the kind of comments that are coming, the kind of trends that are trending are necessarily genuine users. There is now enough evidence to show that there are paid trends. There is enough evidence to show that there are bots that are used there. There's enough evidence to show that the kind of things that are being said are manipulated. I've experienced this personally a lot. So I think that if you are aware of all this, you start taking what is being said with a pinch of salt. Social media does not represent the reality of India. This is a fact. This is what we know. It's very noisy. It is able to create a lot of noise. So in that sense, yes, it does influence public opinion, especially when it goes unchecked. We saw that, unfortunately, in the case of, where after Sushant's tragic suicide, Rhea actually ended up in jail because so much hysteria was whipped up against her, almost like a mob trial. But that's not necessarily the reality. So we have to be very careful about making sure that, that there is a real life accountability to things, and, we're not just acting on social media. So I take social media, as everyone knows, with a lot of pinch of salt, lime, chili powder.
Heaps of salt.
Hing dalo usme.
What about you, Shikha?
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have the most boring answer because I am very zen about these things. Trolls are nameless usernames to me. So I actually find it I keep telling people, I joke about it, that on a Tuesday I'll be really sarcastic. On a Wednesday I'll really ignore you. But it's really true. I actually love talking to trolls sometimes because my sarcastic best comes out in it, which is completely lost on them because they don't understand it at all. But no, it doesn't bother me at all. I'm a much happier person.
I wish I could take that up. I seriously wish I could adopt it.
You and I will have a chat after this interview is done.
But don't read comments.
Simple.
Why
No,
are you
read
reading
the
comments? I
comments.
don't even read comments.
But then it gets very difficult to ignore it after a point. No?
What are they saying first of all? I want to
read
know.
only verified comments.
Generally, body shaming or, the way you talk, those kinds of comments. And okay, immediately the next time you're in front of the mirror, you're like, oh, I remember that person said something like that.
I'll take this one. Okay. So what I really think is that when people, especially on social media, in the age that we live in, and it has been there for a while now, it reflects a whole lot about themselves more than what it reflects on you. And that is something that we just need to be cognizant about. And as long as you know that you are just so much more than what you look like and your job and like everything, what is going to matter at the end of the day is how kind you are and your relationships and how much love you have around you, and that's about that. Then whoever says anything is just, ek to it's always wrong grammar or bad English or Hindi or something like that. So I can't take them seriously. And if anyone says moti, I think because I've written it in English, it's M-O-T-I.
Moti.
I'm a moti, why thanks?
Pearl.
Because that's about it.
But also just disable comments. I really, like, why not set your own boundaries?
Power, yeah.
Just disable. Why should random losers who have nothing better to do in their lives than sit and write rubbish about people they don't even know? मतलब आप सोचो कि आप कितने jobless हो, let's start there. और आप कितने बड़े वेले हो और आपकी जिंदगी कितनी pathetic होगी अगर आपके पास कोई दोस्त कुछ नहीं है कि बस बैठ के यही करना है आपने. So feel sorry for them, but also just set your boundaries. Why should these people even have the access to you? I think that disable comments is, I've started doing that. I never did it for all these years, but now recently, whenever there's a post and I'm like, I don't feel like, I just disable the comments.
Done.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you
affects
face...
me. No, it affects me. I've yet to have those veins of steel. It affects me. But it's very momentary. It stays for about a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes maximum, and then it kind of fades away.
Well, if it affects you,
We
you
have
certainly don't
spoken
read.
about this.
No, but you should really not read if it affects you.
We've spoken about this, and I think I'm one of those sensitive kinds, and I'll kind of feed on it for a while, and then try to pull myself up. Otherwise, have these friends to go to.
Like you, because it bothers me for some time. Like, okay.
Yeah, it stays. It lingers.
Stays, yeah.
It kind of lingers for a while, and then you have to push it away. You have to distract yourself.
पर वो है कौन?
वो है ही नहीं भाई, वो username है.
_911 at forever lovely. What? Who are these people?
नहीं, but ऐसा क्यों बोला उसने? ऐसा क्यों बोला? Like, why did he say that? Why
वो
did he have to say that?
frustrated है.
Achha, let's not.
Yeah.
You understood what we're
I
saying.
got it.
You understood what we're saying. We will have a chat again. You also understand what I'm saying.
Again, I'll get there. I'll get there.
Got it. But thank you so much for that advice, because I think I'm going to take that home and I'm going to try to drill it in my head. Ki bas, ho gaya.
It'll take a while, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Just the question you have to ask him, tu hai kaun?
Who are you?
That's all. If it affects you, and I know it does take time, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, and just be kinder to yourself. Be kind to yourself first, then be kind to the rest. I think you're being too kind by giving those people attention.
Yeah, true. All right, so my questions end here, but I have a small segment, Never Have I Ever.
Games, yes. Let's go.
Yes. So we're going to play it with the hands. Like if the question that I've done, if you have done, raise your hands.
If you've done, raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay, if you're done, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear it one more time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Behaving as if they've never played Never Have I Ever.
Are you seeing the headmistress of the group?
Yeah,
Are we
exactly.
getting that vibe?
Yeah.
Are you seeing the Lucas of the group?
Okay. So the first question is, lied to my family to go on a trip. Do you want to share a few more details about it?
Not at all. My family has to guess which one it is.
I have though told the truth and my poor parents have been in shock. I once went to a different city to break up with a boy.
Oh.
And I told my parents I'm going for this purpose, and my father, so like ऐसा लग रहा था दिमाग ही फट जाएगा उनका. He was in shock.
But I admire that. You know, you didn't break up over text or a message.
Yeah,
Like, good girl.
But वो जब मैं गई वहाँ वो लड़का था कि ये बोलने आई है तू. तेरे माँ बाप नहीं है क्या? तेरे घर में कोई रोकता नहीं क्या? I was like, you wretch, you ungrateful wretch. Okay, sorry.
No, luckily, my mom's pretty cool, so I tell her I'm going.
Sorry guys, sorry. I get excited about
My mom's pretty cool,
bullshit
fortunately,
life.
so I've never had to lie. I tell her when I'm going on trips or anything. I tell her like she's
That's amazing.
chill. Yeah.
No, my parents are also chill, yeah.
Well-
But I was just being one enthu cutlet and just saying, I want to lie today.
Kya
In my
kar rahi
teens,
thi?
yeah. I don't even remember. It was very like chill. This is not the game.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
Next,
sorry.
next.
Never have I ever bought. Why? How? No. It's only never have I ever.
Okay, so next question. Traveled with a new group of people and regretted it immediately.
Clearly, we're not talking.
Yeah, but
about
not only on trips and tours. When I'm invited to parties, which I hate, first of all, and I'm standing in one corner, and my head subconsciously like, why am I here? Like, what am I even doing here? So yeah, this happens a lot of times.
Yeah. Apply this to when you're
You
reading
can't
a
travel
chore
with
corner.
people unless
Saying?
you know, like it's
Why?
very risky.
Why?
Like new group, if अगर if you gel, then it's cool. But if you don't, then you're really stuck.
Then you're.
I just think you have to be a very friendly person, which I am.
Oh my
Even I am, but the vibe doesn't always match, you know.
Joking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's always joking and I never get it. I go in a serious zone.
See, this is what happens with my. Never mind.
Guys, next question.
Next question. Taken an all expense paid trip.
Sorry, what?
Taken an all expense.
Yeah,
paid
IFA.
trip.
Yeah. Also, but you get like work, but not work.
No, like a trip
Where you haven't spent a dime.
time. Yeah.
IFA or other such.
No, but then that's work, right? That's like work related.
Yeah, so sure, work related also.
Yeah, so many.
Never.
No, but awards, inaugurations, press conferences, appearances.
What about all these influencer things where you can take a trip and post pictures?
Yeah,
of
I
the
just
holiday?
went for
Still
one.
hasn't happened. Please make it happen.
I just went for one. So many.
Oh yeah, I had one. like
See?
that. Sorry. Shit, I forgot.
This is the we're ruining this game. Next
Yeah,
question.
totally.
Okay. Spoken about a co-star behind their backs and behave super sweet in front of them.
I want to do it all the time.
I'm not getting into the details of it. I'm not going to
Just
put
saying.
y'all in trouble.
Sure.
This is very obvious.
You do it all. I'm sure you do it all the time.
No!
Oh, shush.
No. See,
Such a liar.
come on.
Such a liar.
She's like very quiet. Like I am detaching myself.
Please
from
be
the
your
situation.
language.
Yeah, I don't know
I
that.
raised my hand.
No, right now when both of them were talking.
Get the rose.
Even in the movie, remember the bed scene? We're like chick 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 chick. Yeah, we're just like that.
Watched a movie, hated it, but
But
At the moment, but
said good things about it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Loved a movie, a controversial movie, but I was too scared to agree to it. So you went with the flow. Like, say for example, like a Kabir Singh, a lot of people did not like
Yeah.
it. But maybe you might have liked it, but you were too
No.
scared to admit.
I haven't watched Kabir Singh, but no, that has never happened.
No.
I wish I was more scared of. Please. And shut it.
Okay, so my last question is, pretended to be on the coffee couch while watching Coffee with Karan and answering rapid fire questions at home.
Coffee couch, interviews, round tables, Grammys.
Kaun banega crorepati?
That also. All of it.
All right, thank you so much for your time. I think like
It's
this
been
whole
fun.
thing was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
The movie is more fun.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm
Please watch
looking
the
forward
film. I
to
hope
it.
you like
16th
it.
of September. So our film Jahaan Chaar Yaar is releasing on the 16th of September. Please go and watch it in the theatres.
Hi, I'm Shikha Talsania and you're watching News 18 Showsha. And if you liked our chat, please share, subscribe and like.
Hi, this is Swara Bhasker. You're watching News 18 Showsha. If you've enjoyed this chat as much as we have, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel.